Hello and welcome into the Sporting Pod. Along with Tony Allegretti, I'm Cole Pepper. Mauricio Ruiz may be joining us. This is sort of like doing a live broadcast.
Right.
It's a live recording.
Right.
And we're doing this in the, during the workday. And because Mao is such a pivotal and important member of the front office of Sporting JAX, sometimes there are highly important meetings for him to attend that involve the future of the on-field product.
Which is true for both of us. I'd actually like to kind of be, on the same level as Mal.
Mm-hmm.
It's not true, but, you do have to fly us in every now and then.
I do. Yeah.
So appreciate that, Cole.
So we may be joined in process as things develop. And if so, we'll welcome Mauricio with open arms, as we always do. But until then, it's just some me time with Tony Allegretti.
Yes.
Coming up today on the pod, we're going to look ahead to the next round of the USL Championship playoffs. We're down to the final 4 teams in each conference, plus where we'll be this weekend, which I'm glad that you and I will have a chance to talk about this. My favorite community event in Jacksonville.
Yeah, big time.
And then we'll look ahead to some local college soccer this weekend as well. Reminder that we are fed by the Bearded Pig, locally owned and operated with locations in San Marco and Jax Beach. Make sure you swing by the Bearded Pig for great barbecue and great times. Anecdote, I just was talking with a former coworker who was who just went to the Bearded Pig. And I said, what'd you get? Oh, I got the ribs and I got the brisket. Oh, did you get the burnt ends? Oh, should I have gotten the burnt ends? Oh yeah.
Man, yeah.
Get the burnt ends.
So it's my go-to, and what I like to do is get the burnt ends, get the beans, because I think their beans are really good, and the collards, and then I'm good. And it's kind of like not a lot of times. I'm a big, large person, and I'll
sturdy.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. I have a low center of gravity, and so I'll overeat. Or I'll over order, and then, because of the Great Depression of 2008, I eat everything that's on my plate. Right, you never know when you're going to see.
Is that what you're blaming it on?
Yeah, so I try not to go nuts, and I get the burnt ends and a couple of veggies or a couple sides, and it's just brilliant. Yeah. And the weather's getting better. And is there a better patio?
Oh, great to sit outside.
Yeah.
By the way, the San Marco location is because it's closest to us. Both the kids like to go out and take the chalk and create art on the wall there.
Little chalk talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's always fun. Great place. Anyway, next time you're thinking barbecue, think the Bearded Pig. All right, let's talk about the USL Championship playoffs. First round in the books. Now looking ahead to this weekend's second round of games, it would be the conference semifinals. We've got in the West, Las Vegas Lights playing at New Mexico United. Orange County goes to Colorado Springs. And in the East, Lou City hosting Rhode Island and Charleston hosting the Tampa Bay Rowdies. The 6 seeds in both conferences won their opening round games, knocking off a 3 seed. Sorry to say that your pick to win the championship did not make it out of the first round.
No, as I say, never go to Hard Rock Casino after something I've said. Although it did go to PKs.
It did.
And, great season for Detroit, great season for their fans. I'm sad that my prediction didn't make it, but what are you going to do? Good for Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot to play for. They got really walloped this year, so by the Hurricane. So
No
really, I got a lot of love for them. I will also throw out that Charleston playoff match is at 3 p.m. on Sunday.
Yes,
and so there is a little tickle in Tony that is like,
make a trek up to
do I want to go up there? The problem, and I'm just going to be real honest because this is a podcast and the 18 people that are, sort of tuned in with their bated breath on what I'm about to say probably won't beat me up for it. But Charleston's so expensive to spend the night.
Yeah.
So a 3 p.m. kickoff, like you could get there and it's not a great drive either. I mean,
no,
it's like the longest, worst 4-hour drive ever. But you could actually turn around and get home, at a decent hour.
Yeah, you're talking about 3 o'clock kick.
Yeah.
Game's over by 5:15.
Yeah.
You're out of the parking lot by 6 if you're really trying to hoof it.
Yeah.
And then you're back by 10:30.
Yeah.
It's doable.
Yeah, and let me, and as I continue to digress and ruin the podcast, I will also say that one time, and I will do this again, probably not Sunday, is there's a train.
Yeah.
There's a really good train. It's actually, the times are not that great. It leaves at 5 o'clock every day, and you can get for, I think it's like $35. You can get to Charleston. You do have to take an Uber from there because it's not a centralized train station, just like ours isn't. But leave the driving to Amtrak, and it takes about the same amount of time as driving, but there's a bar car and you can sit and relax. There's Wi-Fi, etc.
That'd be great to go with the group.
Yeah, there is a new the train coming back was problematic too because it's like 5 a.m, and so you definitely have to spend the night. There's a new train coming back now that's like 11 at night. I'm still not doing that because you get home at
3 o'clock,
4 in the morning. Yeah, so that's not the awesome. Anyway, I say all this to say that when we play Charleston, there will be cider trains. We will figure out a group discount on the hotel, whichever we stay at, and so. I'm tempted. If you're able to do it this weekend, please report back. It's going to be great. I don't know who's going to win that match.
It's such an interesting matchup because you've got a Rowdies team that started off pretty strong, faded, had all kinds of obstacles with the Storms, as you mentioned. They had to play, home matches at IMG at one point, taking on the all-time single-season goal-scoring record holder in the USL Championship, Nick Markanek. And by the way, he's not the only one scoring goals for that team. They can really go. I think in the East, I know that my original prediction was they would be Louisville and Charleston, the top two seeds making it through to the finals, which would be a great match for sure. I'm sticking with that, but boy, you can ride the momentum of winning away in the playoffs. It really does give you a shot in the arm. So who knows? I think it should be a great game. And again, these are the two closest USL Championship teams to Jacksonville. Miami is a little bit further than Charleston. Yeah. So these will be two of the rivals.
This is the Derby sandwich. Until we see some more teams, because I think we're going to get more. But yeah, and so really interesting. One thing I love too about the Charleston Tampa Bay matchup is both have quality kits. Yeah. Like, I don't know if you remember What's Happening. Do you remember What's Happening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rerun.
And what's his name? Oh, man. Dwayne.
Yep.
Dwayne got really good at picking winners at football, and then they found out he was only picking what uniform he liked the best.
Okay.
And so I think it'd be really difficult, especially if Tampa Bay is playing in their hoop sleeves, to pick a winner here. Because
Charleston rolled out some new kits, the black with gold.
Yeah, and the Volvo, I think, that's such a good sponsor on the front, you know. So anyway,
all right, there we go with
a little inside. This stuff you're not going to get.
This podcast is really not about soccer. It's really about transportation and fashion. So. We stick with that.
It's like Instagram for podcasts.
Yeah. Just go to the next scroll to the next video, and you'll be good. By the way, Rhode Island has the hottest player in the league right now, J.J. Williams, who scored hat tricks in each of the last two games. Jeez. And now they'll face Lou City in that matchup. Mauricio would pick Las Vegas to win the championship. I think that's going to be a great matchup with New Mexico United. That section of the bracket, that upper half of the Western Conference bracket, has three teams from desert areas: New Mexico, Phoenix, and Las Vegas. And then Sacramento was the other one. So interesting to see how it all plays out. And I'm sticking with Lou City to win the championship. Kind of going chalk. It's a little obvious, a little bit on the nose, but we'll see. That's why they play the games. And you can see all those games, by the way, on ESPN Plus this week if you're looking for those matchups. We can remind you that the Sporting JAX report comes to you on the weekends, usually before Premier League coverage. Over the next 4 Saturdays, we will be noon on ABC 25, Sundays rather, on ABC 25. And then back to Saturdays at noon on NBC 12 when the Premier League comes back on NBC starting later in December. And you can join us every Tuesday at 6 for the Sporting JAX Soccer Hour on 1010XL. You can listen live and on demand at 1010XL.com. You're mulling a getaway on Sunday. We already know what you'll be doing on Saturday, and that is being a part of the Sporting JAX team on the ground, boots on the ground at the Porch Fest in Springfield, which I've been to, I don't know, 3 or 4 years now, and just the best vibe imaginable.
It's a banger. It's absolutely the best. And I have I have a background in some kind of city events, and this as an annual event, it's an absolute favorite. And I've been to events like these all over the country. One of them, Division Fest, I think, on Division Street in Chicago, is the most alike to this one that I've been to, and it's also brilliant. But Springfield is such a awesome neighborhood, and it's got such diversity of people, and it's an arts hub, and this is really just a highlight to that. And one of the reasons that we're out there is for the newly founded foundation, and we'll be talking about our efforts in parts of Jacksonville to bring soccer where it's really not accessible, and so that kids can play soccer where they otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity. And so we'll be talking about that a lot, and you'll see us. We're on 4th Street, so come and say hi for sure.
Now let's see. I want to give people a feel for where to find us. I'll be probably going around with the camera shooting for our content, but it's on 4th Street west of Main Street. So it's there are basically 4 quadrants in Springfield. This is the southwest quadrant, west of Main Street, and south of 8th Street is where the fest is happening this year. And we are sponsoring a porch, which also will have
on West 4th.
On West 4th, which will also have a band as well as an artist.
Yeah. Well, at first it's a hip hop MC, Broadway Louie. The couple of the videos that I've seen on YouTube, not completely safe for work, but the guy's got jams. He's actually really excellent, and his band it's a backup band, so it's not a DJ. It's like live, kind
of a Daft Punk kind of thing, or Chainsmokers. What are we looking at?
I would say more like the Roots.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So full band and him emceeing over it. So really excited about that. And my friend Chris Clark, who's an excellent artist, you've seen his murals if you've ever gotten out of the house in Jacksonville. Chris Clark is live painting on the spot. So it's going to be excellent. And we're just like the way that Porch Fest works, and I highly recommend becoming a sponsor of Porch Fest because, again, beautiful event, beautiful people. The weather's going to hold up, so it's going to be massive crowds. But you can sponsor porches, and this is our porch, and we're really excited and actually blessed to have a live art as well.
And also, will we have a presence in Cluthville Park? Is that right?
No, so that's just the one on 4th Street.
Oh, just on 4th.
Just on 4th. You'll see the tent. You won't be able to miss it. You can come by. We've got a new. You know how we always do like spin to win.
Yeah.
And everybody wins. We've got a new one. I think come by. I don't want to give it all away, but we also have one that's like a scratch off, and you can win a massive prize pack. I think the actual grand prize of that one you're entered into includes season tickets. So
very nice.
Yeah, and we've got obviously there's got some news to break later on that. Is,
by the way, so as we tell you on this podcast, what we try to do is give you sort of a behind the scenes feel of what's happening with Sporting JAX. Sometimes there are little Easter eggs that are dropped, little breadcrumbs that for you to follow. So that maybe
if you go back and look at the herstory of our podcast, you'll get little hints.
Yeah, you kind of pick up some things. All right, so we'll see you out at Porch Fest on Saturday, hopefully. And between now and then, it's a great opportunity for you to become a member of Sporting JAX. It's absolutely free. Just go to sportingjax.com to get discounts on Sporting JAX official club merchandise, invitations to insider events, automatic chances to win special prizes and experiences, and you get the Sporting JAX email newsletter. Plus, while you're there, you can put your deposit down on season tickets and receive first access to seats and a special limited edition Sporting JAX founding member pin. Again, sportingjax.com. All right, let's tackle something else that's happening starting on Saturday here in town, and Mauricio and I will be a part of this, and that is that Jacksonville, UNF, is hosting part of the ASUN men's soccer tournament. Hodges Stadium will play host to the Bellarmine against Florida Gulf Coast game on Saturday, and then UNF will play one of the first-round winners in the semifinals on Monday. But on Saturday, also on ESPN+, Mauricio and I will be calling that game. Looking forward to that. I think it's great to have this opportunity to have a college soccer tournament, at least part of it, here in Jacksonville. And I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of support there is, as well as to see how these teams play out, because both of these teams, Bellarmine had to basically get 7 points in the last three in order to get back into it. Gulf Coast had sort of clinched a spot early on, didn't finish as strong, so it's an opportunity for Bellarmine perhaps to get this Cinderella story going.
Yeah, and obviously I'm Swoop. You're probably Swoop. I mean, you're not allowed.
I don't have a particular.
Okay, well, let me. But
I will say this
for this podcast, and I'm just declaring it, man. We're UNF, and they had a great season. So you don't have to. You're a journalist.
JU's not in the tournament, so I don't have to choose one or the other.
Right. Yeah.
But again, you always like to see the local teams have great stories.
Absolutely.
And I always root for a great story, and that would be one.
Yeah, and I've seen several women's games this year at UNF. I've not caught the men, and so I'm excited to watch it. It's Monday night.
With the UNF game is Monday.
Yeah. So I'm going to try to hit that.
Yeah, that'll be good. All right. So tune in if you can, and we'll see. Mauricio and I have not called a soccer game together since our days with the Armada. I think it would have been 2018, probably the last time we called a game together.
Okay, yeah.
So, or maybe 2017. So, I just don't get enough time with Mauricio.
I know,
Between TV show, radio show, podcast, you got to find some other opportunity there. All right, let's get into the Premier League. And we always like to finish up the podcast with what game you are most looking forward to this week. Tony Allegretti, what's your pick? That is
I'm unprepared. You do yours first.
All right. So I'm going to give you two, one of which is a low-key, like, why are you interested? But Brentford and Bournemouth coming off their first ever win against Man City. Can they keep that going? That's one that I'll be looking forward to. I would say that the other matchup that is most intriguing to me is going to be Liverpool and Aston Villa. Villa has now gotten into both these teams are into the Champions League play, but we asked the question early in the season whether Villa would have enough depth to be able to sustain both. They've certainly been putting their best foot forward as far as the Champions League is concerned, as has Liverpool. These are two teams that are playing very well right now, and so that's one that I'm going to be looking forward to. That is the 3:00 game Eastern time this week. The late game that will be on Peacock if you're going to watch it here locally.
Okay, that's excellent. I love that. I'm still stunned in the success so far of Forest, and they have just and they've got, I think, Newcastle.
They do.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they've got Newcastle at home. Which City Grounds, love it.
Yeah.
Great place for
You were there last year?
I was there last year. Yep. And so in Newcastle is again this one of those teams which way are they going? Mm-hmm. Hadn't been the dream season that they had a few ago. Whereas with Forest, they're kind of living that now.
They are. And the interesting thing here too for Forest, not to interrupt you, but to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Very often, the table 10 weeks in is very similar, a place or two at most,
right,
from what it looks like at the end of the year in the Premier League. In the last 15 years, this has sort of been the trend. This would be the best season that Forest has had in the Premier League. I mean, this is just the modern Premier League in years. Yeah.
Well, and again, that coup that I was talking about with getting Edu from Arsenal. Marinakis now has one of the most highly sought after best minds in terms of player development and academies, etc. Absolutely stole them from Arsenal, and I think that's going to make a massive difference. Forest is back, but I think this is a good again, another litmus game. We say this every time, and to be honest, that the Fulham was about to lose. We mentioned the Fulham Brentford game last time. Fulham was about to just totally lose that, even though they played very well. And then Wilson in the extra time, both goals, came back and win it. And man, Fulham is flying.
Yep.
And I think Brentford is a little bit noodly legged, and so I agree on watching that one as well. So it's just every weekend is kind of amazing.
It is. There are always great matchups, and again, we're so fortunate that in this era it is so accessible. You can get to it, and actually, it's more accessible in the United States than it is in the UK.
Is. Yeah, absolutely.
So great to be able to see that. Forest, again, I'm going to break my arm, patting myself on the back, but they were my pick to be the jump up team this year, and so far they certainly have. I don't know if they can hold on to third, but boy, it's been quite a story for Forest. There's no doubt about that. All right, we were not able to connect with Mauricio today. You can see Mauricio though on the Sporting JAX report this weekend. Be sure to tune in, set your DVRs for that, and we'll be back next week with another installment right here on the Sporting Pod.
Thanks for listening, Mom.